What is up, guys? I am here with one of my clients. Ironically, I found out after he joined the program that he lived like 20 minutes down the road, which is crazy because Texas, is very big, and where we live, I would say is a smaller part of Texas. So, dude, welcome to the channel, man. How you doing?
Blessed, man. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I love it, bro. So, guys, I just really wanted you, to hear Braden's story, and then also, this is the first client interview I've ever recorded live that isn't at a mastermind. So, we were literally in the same area, and we were going to do an interview, and I was like, dude, we should just link up in person and do it. So, bro, tell me more about like where you were at when you found me, and just more about how you got into all this.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is about, 2.5 months ago?
Yeah,
I've been in the program. Wow, time flies.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It really doesn't feel that long. So in my business, I was doing pretty decent, hanging around 8 to 10K, mostly organic for the most part. And I feel like I was finally in a place to where I was quote unquote comfortable, and I felt like I was getting complacent.
Yeah.
I can make a good living at that income range. I'm a very simple man. It doesn't really take a lot to satisfy me.
Yeah.
But I knew that I was destined for more. I knew that I wanted to help more people. It wasn't necessarily the dollar. I just knew that I needed to help more people. And I truly believe in my offer. However, I didn't have clarity with my offer and even like who I was working with. Mm-hmm. And I know Tyler. Tyler, what's his last name? I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I don't know how to say his last name. I always say Tyler the Fit Chemist.
Yeah, Tyler the Fit Chemist. So I got connected with him through a guy I met at Destination Dallas, Jim Cameron.
Oh, really? Yeah. So you and Tyler got connected?
He through this guy I just met at the gym at Destination Dallas, and it's crazy how we got connected there. And I saw that he was niching to Christians, and I saw that he was a part of Scale.
Yeah.
And I just asked him, I was like, hey, tell me a little bit about this. And he told me about it because I was interested in going the paid route. So, that's when I reached out and I got plugged into your school group. Saw a lot of value. I saw a lot of clients killing it. And obviously you guys are faith-centered, which was appealing to me because there's a lot of masterminds out there. And I wanted to make sure that I was with a group that was in alignment with Christ. So, that's when I reached out. And
dang. That's crazy.
Things are going really well right now, and I'm very, very excited to continue to scale and help more people. Yeah,
for sure. So you meet this dude. He's like, yo, connect with Tyler. And did you and Tyler talk, I guess?
A little bit back and forth. I don't know Tyler too well, but the other guy this was like 3 or 4 years ago, actually.
Yeah, dang.
I was working out, and I was with another trainer, and he was saying, like, hey, let me show you how easy it is to introduce yourself to somebody. He said, hey, I like your shoes.
Yeah.
And Cameron and I stayed in touch. And he was a brother in Christ, and a couple years later, he had me follow Tyler, and I got connected.
That makes sense.
I followed Tyler for about a year and a half, and then that's when I saw you. So it's crazy how that panned out, and here we are sitting here today.
Dude, that's nuts. Okay,
it's crazy how God works, man.
Yeah, it's so crazy. So you connect with Tyler, and then you're doing 8 to 10K a month. You see my school group. When did you get on a call? Like, how did that happen?
So you reached out to me in the school group and was asking me like how I was doing, and I told you what my bottleneck was. I had more of like an outbound system, organic way, and it just wasn't very consistent. Yeah. And I was adopting the scarcity mindset, and I think you gave me a little bit of insight on like the paid side of things, and you asked me, well, if you didn't have to worry about lead flow, like, what would that do for you? And it got me thinking. I was like, all right, I'll take a call, man. Whatever. I said, I'm not ready to make a decision, but I'll take a call. And that's when I got on with your guy Matthew. Mm. It took 2 calls. So,
dang. So 2 calls. Yeah. So you did the first call, and then what? Like, what were you thinking through in that moment?
On the first one?
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, I came on it with a little ego because I'm like, I know how this stuff works. Like, you're going to build desire and urgency and like pull that emotional desire out of me, which I appreciated. But I was very skeptic. Like my whole, like, I would say my roadblock with joining another mastermind was I need help with my content and my messaging. Yeah. I understand, like, if you if you're going to run ads, you need to have a really good offer, and you need to have your content needs to be dialed in. Otherwise, you're not going to attract the right people.
Right.
And Matthew gave me assurance of that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just thinking a step ahead when I got connected with Ro. He had me work through and just get clarity on my offer and who I worked with, and that changed everything.
Yeah.
That worksheet in particular, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That thing is, that piece of paper is just golden, man.
I love it.
It completely changed everything for me, and it was so quick too.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in that moment, that's what was going through my head. Is like, I need clarity on this. Like, I need to understand like what I'm getting myself into, and make sure that I can trust this. And you know, I told him, I was like, if you tell me to eat nails, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah. No, I love that. And then at that time, was that a big investment for you, like financially?
I mean, yeah, it was. Like, I mean, I had the resources to do it, no doubt. It was just for me, you know, you look at objections in sales, right?
Yeah.
It was more fear.
Fear.
More so fear in myself and of scale.
Yeah.
Right? I wanted to, because again, like, before you boost ads, like, the content has to be on.
Yeah.
That has been my bottleneck for a long time, was my content. And I wanted to make sure that, okay, well, if you guys are going to help me with the ad side of things and the paid side of things, getting more flow in that way, that it's the right people, starting with my content.
Yeah.
So
How is the clients that you've been working with?
they're amazing, man.
Are they?
They're amazing.
Yeah.
We just had, I brought on five new ones. We've only been running it for, 6 weeks total?
Yeah.
Crazy, right? And I've got 5 new ones in October, and they're amazing men. Like, we just had our 2-week checkup, because like in my offer, I have several touch points in the first month, because I believe it's hardest to start, especially with fitness.
100%.
And like, I like to keep a close eye on people,
Yeah.
because there's just a lot going through your head when you're changing so much at once. But these gentlemen are exactly like who I work with. They're men of faith. They're faith driven. They've been going all in with their career, with every other area of their life, but the fitness is slacking, and they're starting to see that it's affecting other areas of their life. And that's when we take a Christ-centered approach to fitness.
That's dope.
And you look in Scripture,
Yeah.
it's, I mean, the answers are there like in everything else.
Yeah.
So
Were you always saved? Like, how did you get to the Christ-centered fitness?
Christ-centered fitness,
Yeah.
that's a really good question, man. No, I wasn't always saved. I mean, yeah, I got saved and baptized and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. If you're from this area, like we've heard about,
of course,
Jesus
we're in the Bible
usually.
Belt, right? There's a lot of Southern Baptists here and stuff, but no, we had a Bible study this morning actually before this, and we were talking about how if you want to know you're saved, like look at the fruit.
Yeah.
Look at the fruit in your life, and I would say I'm 30 now. I just turned 30, and I was 25 at the time when I really turned my life around.
Yeah.
I was on a lot of drugs. I was drunk all the time, high all the time, taking steroids because I wanted to be a professional bodybuilder, and I was justifying it. And I was still coaching at the time too. And I finally just said, all right, if you're real, show me. And I asked that question. And I can't explain what happened really with words. It was truly supernatural. But you know, that's when I really started to make strides. And I will say that it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows the next day. Picking up the cross is the hardest thing you'll ever do, as you know. And I would say about, really just past few years is when I really started to get Christ-centered with the business, because I started to become Christ-centered with everything else in my life. And again, it was a journey. Like I didn't have a Christ-centered marriage, unfortunately. I didn't have a Christ-centered friend group, community, like getting plugged in with the body, and fitness too. It wasn't Christ-centered.
Yeah.
So the last step was my business. It felt like.
Right.
Because this is where I'm spending a lot of my time and my energy, and like, how can I bring Christ into this?
Yeah.
And again, if you look at, now that I'm with Scale, I feel like I've really put pieces of the puzzle together with clarity on my offer and how I bring Christ into this. And you look at the people joining the program and the people who are already in the program.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like we're all on the same mission here.
That's so good. I love that, bro. So you joined Scale. And like, what do you think has changed? Like, update me on how things are feeling now.
Again, just clarity. Like, I have great clarity on where I'm going. Prior to Scale, I was guessing all the time with my content creation, just kind of throwing darts blindfolded.
Yeah.
And I was taught previously that virality is key, but you
Like
guys,
just going viral?
Yeah,
Like
just going viral.
Trying to post a reel and then,
Yeah,
dude, out
exactly.
of all the reels I've ever posted, and I think I've posted several, right? Maybe 300-400. Not one of them has ever went viral. So that could be that the content sucks, which it's sales. I don't know if it's necessarily viral content, or my understanding of it is a mixture of luck. Like there are people who've got it down where they could just go viral because they're like flamboyant and like crazy or whatever. But I don't like depending on the algorithm. Is why I like paid so much because it's more controllable.
I like the paid side too because I feel like I'm not selling my soul.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't consider myself a viral kind of guy. Like I'm very simple.
Yeah.
So the paid side puts me in front of people like me,
Yeah.
or more like me, who want to go on that journey per se. Which that I think that was the biggest thing. Now, what's different now is having that great clarity, and when we are putting out the paid stuff, it's going to the right people.
Yeah.
Versus like the masses, because I'm very specific with who I work with.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in scale are very specific with who they work. And there's millions of people out there. And if you're in fitness, there's a lot of people who need a trainer.
Dude.
need somebody to work with. And there's so many of us. And I hate when I hear somebody who's considering getting into fitness or wants to go on with it saying, oh, it's saturated. Well, it's not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who want to be it. But ask yourself, if that is you, how can you set yourself apart? What makes you unique?
100%.
There's a lot of people out there just like you who have dealt with the same thing. And again,
100%.
like I come from a background of like yo-yo dieting, crash dieting.
Yeah.
A lot from bodybuilding, pretty much self-inducing it. And that's a
Yeah.
lot of people out there who I can relate with, who are constantly like in this vicious, I call it the roller coaster of just losing weight, gaining it back, losing weight, gaining it back, hopping on this sexy diet trend, whether it's carnivore. I throw rocks at carnivore quite a bit. Keto, like all these different strategies, right?
Yeah.
And like that's where I come in and just oversimplify things. Really.
Yeah. No, I love that, bro. Dude, so just to speak to that with fitness coaches are my favorite people to work with in the sense of really all you need to do to stand out is get a niche, because most people don't have a niche. They're just running, their offer to everyone. And then two, is you guys are so disciplined. So it's like if you can be disciplined in the gym, you can be disciplined to run an ad, message everyone who follows or messages you, take some sales calls, learn some sales training, and usually results come. So I love that. Like, for instance, in regards to niche, one of my friends who goes to my church, I think he was like 320, like 4 months ago. I don't know the timeline. But now he started doing the carnivore diet and working out, which is, I think, funny because of what you said, too.
It'll work. Practically speaking, it will work. Not denying that. He's
lost like 60 pounds. Yeah. So what I love about fitness, though, is a lot of different methods, but if you just stick to it, it works. But I think when you find something like you where you can like get results and do it in a way, because what is your method as far as fitness goes?
All right, so we named it, when I went through scale, I framed it as the eternal fat loss mechanism.
That's dope.
It's eternity, right?
Yeah, so like having a mechanism is also so important. Yeah, right. Niche, offer your mechanism.
And it's not like, it's nothing I made up. It's essentially just implementing diet breaks, because with weight loss, like everybody's doing this, but nobody takes the time to do this. And if you don't take the time to do this, then once you get to that goal, like what do you expect is going to happen? Yeah. And also is the path that you take, which again, carnivore, every diet works for weight loss. Yeah. Every single diet, even Twinkies and Doritos. I don't recommend that. Practically speaking, yes, but realistically, you also have to ask yourself, is this necessary?
Yeah.
So, and that's what I try to get people to see, is just get an idea of like what their dietary preferences are like what they've tried in the past.
Yeah.
Like how we can cultivate it and get it on the right path. And I always say this too, it's like, for salvation, there's one route, and that's Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Right. But with nutrition, it's a little different.
Yeah.
Like you can take different routes, but you better get on the right one.
Yeah.
Because once you get to that finish line, you're going to want to stay.
Dude, I'm going to steal that. I'm going to steal that. Yeah. For salvation, there's one route, but for marketing, there's many routes.
Yeah. Exactly. There's many routes. It's like, it ultimately depends on what best suits the individual. So like, I'm not dogmatic about anything in particular. I want it to fit the individual. So
yeah, no, that's good. So How, like, because I actually don't know. I think I've seen a couple wins in the channel. Like, what has business been like revenue-wise after you started running paid?
It's been, wow, it's been great. My first month I stayed right around the baseline, which, we were just getting things up and
Yeah, I
running.
remember us talking, like, the ads were taking quite a bit
Yeah,
to
and
get
it was
rolling.
it was a setting issue,
Yeah.
right? Like most people who, I think you've been saying this quite a bit, is like, don't get emotional when you first start, like give it some time. It typically takes, 3 or 4 weeks, I
Yeah.
would say, to really start seeing results.
Yeah.
And yeah, about that 4th week is when I really started to book some calls, get people in there. And last month, October, I hit 22,000. Yeah. And
Damn.
I honestly, I only booked 9 calls. That's not very many.
Yeah.
I'm usually booking a lot more, but they were very high quality people. And, closing rate was pretty decent.
Yeah.
So,
Dude,
I'm
22K.
yeah, and
That's
now,
crazy.
Now that, again, it's not the revenue, but I know that I can help a lot more people.
Right.
And looking, like we've talked about this,
Yeah.
we just need to book more calls.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, improve the setting process and, potentially put more ad spend in there because it's only at $20 a day.
You're spending $20 a day?
Yeah, that's it.
Dang. What is that? 600 a month?
Roughly. Yeah.
Wow. 600 a month, 22K.
Yeah, I think we put a total of like $1,000 in and gotten 16 back, I think, for
Nice.
the total of the amount of time. At one point, we were under $1 a follower. And
Yeah. That was the election month too, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like you did that during the worst month in history of running ads. So yeah. Dude, that's cool. I think like one of the things I would mention to other people listening is so many times I hear people say, I need to book more calls, more calls. But you took 9 calls to do the 22K. So it's actually, you need better quality calls, right? Better sales calls. Because I'm sure there was some work you did sales-wise that improved close rates and like cash collected.
Shout out to Tristan.
Yeah.
Sackler.
What was the biggest thing you feel like he helped with? For those of you who don't know, one of our sales coaches in the program, his name is Tristan. Literally everybody loves him. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Man, he does not waste his words. And I would say like the biggest shift for me was just my mindset coming on the call. Not being so agreeable all the time.
Yeah.
And, like he helps me really bring out that like no BS side of me. I felt like I was suppressing because I felt like I had to get to like me because that's what I was taught previously.
Yeah.
It's kind of a goofy way to handle a sales call. And that's also carried over to the fulfillment side of things. Like Tristan says, you got to take the lead with these people because they need to be led. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's why I'm sitting in front of you here today.
Yeah.
Like, you're leading me in a way. And when somebody's sitting on the other end, you have to take the lead. And that's completely changed everything.
Yeah.
Nothing special. I mean, yeah, obviously we're learning the process and like asking the right questions, handling objections, but that's the main thing is that shift to, you got to be a leader on that call.
Yeah. That's 100% right. Yeah. They're looking for someone to follow, most people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in fitness, like they need to be led.
Oh, 100%.
100%. So,
Especially fitness.
yeah, dude.
Because we're in America. You look around, like most people who you hang out with, unfortunately, and this is not a shot. And I'm overgeneralizing here for a second. It's most people are not in decent shape and don't prioritize eating the right food, exercising. Like it's not the norm. And I don't want to see a cultural shift in that. Like
what do you think about RFK?
I was literally just thinking about that.
Is he going to make it healthy again, you think?
I pray that prayer, yes. I do hope that Big Pharma is trembling right now. I did see a little pushback from some other like fitness coaches about like affordability and stuff like that. But also on the other side, like healthcare is really expensive. So why not just invest more into higher quality food?
Yeah.
But yeah, I really hope that he comes in and like really changes the game for us.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like you still, I don't think that alone is going to change anything because you're still going to have a choice.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, nobody's going to take cigarettes and alcohol off the market. Like, you still have a choice to go indulge in those things. It's the same thing with food. Like McDonald's, It's not going anywhere.
100%. It's like, dude, real-time example. The example of niching down, I voted for Trump. And I
So
and
you
I,
lost a bunch of followers, and
dude, I thought I would actually.
and because you went deer hunting as well.
Yeah, dude. So
same.
like, perfect example. So I voted for Trump, and I went deer hunting, and I posted it, and I lost 600 followers that day. There was like 300 hate comments on it. But I posted about Trump, only 50 followers, and then I gained probably 50 followers. So, and I say that because whenever I said that just now, some of you guys like instantly like you hate me and you like probably are clicking off the video right now, and that's totally fine if that's what you want to do. And then the other percentage of you are like, oh my gosh, I like Brandon so much more now. That's exactly what a niche does. Whenever you kind of switched over to Christian,
being yourself.
Yeah.
Like you're stepping into your true identity.
Yeah.
And again, like I think we were just talking about that off camera about how social media is so superficial, and I don't want to feel like I'm having to sell my soul
Yeah.
to get business when I can just be myself.
100%. Like,
So even if it's a smaller audience, which I'm totally fine with,
Yep.
because I like a private life. Social media is great because obviously it's creating these opportunities to get connected with like-minded individuals, but at the end of the day, it's an easy place to lose yourself.
yep, 100%. Yeah. It's so true. So now business is growing. You're starting to work with more clients. Even different opportunities are opening up. What's kind of the vision going forward?
I've been taking a lot of time to reflect on this, and I need to spend a lot more time on it. And you've inspired me to take a vision trip or maybe a getaway where I'm fasting. I'm away from all the noise, probably in the woods, honestly, just out in East Texas. That's probably
Dude,
where
100%.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from. So the big vision here is, like, numbers-wise, like I told you, like now that we're at 22, I don't see why 50 is not possible.
Yeah.
So from here, it's building a team. Like I just brought on another setter. It's my best man's wife, and I'm not thinking about like what can I get for her. I'm thinking what can I do for her, and she wants to provide like simply this income. Like they don't necessarily need the income because they're well off, but she wants this to be for her daughter, Jovi, which I love Jovi, 2-year-old, cutest little girl, and she wants to put that towards like her college or her like dance recital. So I'm thinking about that when I'm mentoring her, like how can I help her get what she needs. So bringing on another setter. My wife and I were looking to start a family in God's timing. I don't like to say we're trying because it's in His timing. I don't want her to have to worry about that, her to be able to have that privilege of being a stay-at-home mom. And, she said she wants to do something, so probably throw her in as a setter.
Yeah, I love it.
And potentially coach, too. And I do want to bring on another coach as well to help me with that. I've been taught that you need to scale yourself out of, and I'm not saying I got this from Scale, but I was told that you might want to scale yourself a little bit out of the coaching process, which I believe that to an extent, but I don't want to lose that personal connection with the ones I'm working with one-on-one, which is why I want to bring on another coach to do that and also have the opportunity to speak in front of more people at once. Yeah. And I haven't given that much thought, whether that be at a company, whether that be at a conference. Like I'm truly passionate about my offer. Yeah. About weight loss, about eternal fat loss, and about just keeping it off because people miss that part. So getting myself to a point where I can do that, and that's going to require some help through some setters, getting a closer in there, and then having another coach as well to help me with that. Yeah. So you asked me that question. You can tell that I definitely need to give that a lot more thought. And
dude, here's the thing I've learned about God, especially in business. We want to have it all figured out. So He'll give us like the end vision. So like maybe He's given you a vision of students flying in, y'all running together, working out, you praying for them, doing a Bible study, or like we were just talking about it actually. So I know He's kind of showed you people flying in to the barn dough and like, just like stuff like that. God will give you that vision, and we want like each step, but He doesn't work that way.
Man plans his ways.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really faith for the next step and clarity for the next step. And sometimes it looks like what happened to, I believe, Abraham. It's like, go into a land in which I will tell you. What the heck does that mean? Right? Go to a land. It means start walking, and I'm going to tell you as you go.
Yeah. So, and you can plan your ways out, but it's not always going to work out the way you intended it, which is why I don't like to think too far ahead, but I like to have an idea of what the vision looks like at the very least 100%. And have Him direct my ways.
100%.
and making sure that the decisions that I'm making are in alignment, most importantly.
100%, bro.
You can't ever lose sight of that, especially in business, because it's really easy to lose sight of that sometimes.
It is.
And just focus on the dollar rather than the impact, which that's the most important thing. And it's like anything else, it's for the glory of God. Right?
Yeah, it is.
And we want to make sure that that fruit is being reflected.
Yeah, definitely. So, dude, this was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, in person. Dude, for those of you watching, you're like, man, y'all have some cool mics there. The TV behind you. What you don't see is I've got a pile of trash over here from the TV box. Nothing in this office is set up yet. So I would just encourage you guys, like we talked about, to be authentic in your content. I think that was really the main shift for you, honestly, was like, yeah, paid, but then also just putting a line in the sand. These are the people I want to work with. And now I'm sure the clients you're working with are much better too, and respect you more. And then like they're wanting to change more than just their fitness. They're wanting to change their life, which is awesome. So, dude, I'm curious, what would you say to anyone who's watching this right now? They've been watching my content and they're like, dude, I think I need to join Scale or at least book in that first call. I know you had 2 calls, but what would you say to somebody who's thinking about booking in the first call?
Think about what do you have to lose. And if you're not going to book the call, you're losing the time. Realize that. And just book the call. Seriously, what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Book it. If you've been on the fence, like, stop thinking about it. You're just wasting time. There's people out there that you need to help.
Yeah.
Book in the call.
I love it. You heard the man. So where can people find you? If they're a Christian dude, maybe they're overweight, they want to put on some muscle, whatever it is, how can they find you?
You can follow me on Instagram. It's Braden, Iron Faith Fitness. You can find me on LinkedIn as well, Braden Morrow. Recently got hacked, as you know, so I'm off of Facebook, unfortunately, trying to get, 16, 17 years of memories back. I would say follow me there, but that's not the case. But, yeah, Instagram and LinkedIn.
Sweet. Cool, guys. Well, again, if this inspired you and you're tired of being on the fence, I had another interview that I think yesterday. The guy was like, dude, I saw you bought an Escalade, so I booked in a call. I was like, what? Like, how did your mind, like, end up there? But, yeah, maybe you're like, oh, my gosh, Brandon is actually talking to real humans, and you saw that we're in person live together for this interview, and that sparked something for you enough to book a call. What I want you to do is click the link down below. On that call, very simple. We're going to get a sense of where you're at, where you want to get to, see if we can identify any constraints that we might can help fix. And if we can, we'll just show you how. So again, what I want you to do is click the link down below to book in a call. I'll talk to you.